Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cutting Through It. Today, I just wanted to get on here and I wanted to share with you 3 easy things that you as a hairstylist can do today and implement in your business today to start bringing more money into your bank account, into your life. And guys, it's not about getting more clients in the chair. Guys, there was a time in my career where I just felt like if I could get another client in the chair, if I could just do more hair, then I'm going to have more money. But what if I told you it wasn't about getting more clients in the chair? It was about me becoming more proactive and more courageous and more thoughtful about the things that I was doing behind the chair that made me more money. And in today's episode, that's what I'm going to share with you. So if you are a hairstylist that you're like that, you're just thinking, if I could just get more clients, I'll have more money. Today, I'm going to challenge you with that. So let's get into the episode.
Do you dream of a full chair with a steady flow of clients and more confidence behind the chair? But you struggle with slow books, inconsistent income, and it's left you feeling stuck or discouraged? If so, my friend, you're in the right place. Hey there, I'm Sherry Brody. I'm a hairstylist, educator, and a mentor working behind the chair as a hairstylist just like you. After rebuilding my business multiple times in my career, I've learned how to own my chair like a business. A way that creates clarity and confidence and consistency in my business without feeling burnt out. So if that sounds like you, grab your shears and step behind the chair with me. And let's build the business you've always wanted. Hey, if you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I get it, but how do I even start getting clients in my chair? If that's you, I want you to know that I've created a free mini course. I've titled it 5 Easy Ways to Attract New Clients and Fill Your Chair. Guys, these are simple, real strategies that I've personally used numerous times to rebuild my clientele. And I'm here to tell you that they truly work. So if you're ready to stop guessing and you want to start taking action on getting clients in your chair, then head on over to On Point Hair by Sherry, that's SHERRI.com/free course. All right. So today we're going to talk about, I'm going to share with you 3 easy ways. And you know what? I say it's easy, but honestly, it's probably not easy for a lot of us, except, I speak to that because when I started implementing these things in my business and my income started going up and I started not feeling as stressed, it wasn't really easy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It took courage. It took me doing things that I was uncomfortable with. In some of my past episodes, if you have been listening to my podcast for a while, first of all, I just want to thank you and tell you that if you are listening and something that I have shared with you has really helped you become more successful and more confident working behind the chair, would you drop me a review and let me know? Those things mean the world to me because, guys, the reason I started Cutting Through It in the first place is just because throughout my career of doing hair, guys, I learned everything the hard way. And I really, when I share these tips with you, I'm sharing them with you because they work. And I'm also sharing with you from my heart because I get it. There's things that we have to do as hairstylists behind the chair that really challenge us. When I started doing hair, I was just really young and I wasn't super confident in the way I presented myself and the way I spoke with my clients. That took experience, yes, but it took me learning from the hairstylists that I really wanted to be, watching them and asking for their help. But we can only ask for so much help and learn so much. The real key to it is that you have to start implementing it and doing it. And so if you were a hairstylist that you're just feeling like you're maxed out and you're working those long hours and you're missing out on time with your family, and you just feel like you're still not making enough money to make ends meet, this girl gets you. I can honestly tell you that there was a time in my career, and you'll probably hear these stories throughout these podcasts because they were life-changing for me. And when I was a single mom and I was trying to, make ends meet and keeping a roof over my kids' heads and spending time with them and, having enough money to know that like next month I'm going to be able to pay my rent. I was at the time I was taking that last minute client. I was late, I didn't leave them at daycare all the time late. That's not my point, but they were always one of the last ones to be picked up. And that just saying those words gets me emotional because I hated it. I hated that because all I wanted was to be with my kids. And, eventually I had to get in, I had to find nannies. I didn't have family around to help. And I didn't have a lot of financial help at all. And so I was on this working overtime, and I felt so maxed out, you guys. And I still never felt like I was making enough money. Every month I was wondering, hey, am I going to make enough for next month? And it was just, I would take that extra client. I was just overworking. And it wasn't until I really put into place and put my big girl pants on, and I did some things that were really uncomfortable for me. And so that's what I want to share with you today. I want to share this with you because at that time in my life, I was doing all the work, but I wasn't maximizing the clients and the time that I was scheduled to work behind the chair right. And so I want to, today's going to challenge you a little bit. If you were a hairstylist that was like me, it's like hard for you to ask your client for a referral, or it's hard for you to ask your client about purchasing a product or something like that. Those are things that can be uncomfortable because we feel like we're being salesy. Maybe we don't, at the time in my life when I was, the story that I'm sharing with you, I was a younger hairstylist. I was confident in my skills, but I wasn't confident in myself. Growing up, I struggled. I tend to be told by my family, they would call me motor mouth, because I was always talking and always, blah, 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 talking. I was always told you need to be quiet, or if something crossed my mind, I would say it. And so growing up, I was used to hearing, be quiet. Why did you say that? Don't say that. So I started becoming this person where I second guessed everything I said, and it created this low confidence as far as speaking. And I had to really get some counseling on this, but I had to force myself to do these things that I'm sharing with you. And the first one is I'm going to encourage you to talk about retail. If you are a hairstylist working in the salon as a renter, or you have your salon suite, guys, you're missing the boat if you do not have retail on your shelves. And you know what? You're probably saying, well, my clients won't buy it from me. They'll just get it off Amazon. Guys, I'm here to tell you that is not true. Yes, you are competing with Amazon. Yes, they can go to Ulta and get it. But guys, ultimately, that ability to have them purchase retail from you, it's not about selling, guys. It's about educating. When I share this with you, it really changed everything for me when I started putting it into that perspective. When a client comes and sits in your chair, why are they coming to you? They're coming to you because they have a problem. For instance, yesterday, I had a client come into my chair. She had been waiting 2 months to get in with me. She sat down and she said, Sherry, I have a confession to make. I went to Supercuts. I couldn't wait 2 months, but and her hair, guys, it needed help. And I sat with her and listened to her. And what I learned from her is that, yes, she financially, for her to come to me to get her hair done she had to set money aside. It was a big deal for her. And So immediately, if that gal would have come to me as a young hairstylist, I would immediately thought, oh, I can't talk to her about product because she can't afford it. But guys, I knew that this person that came to me, she had a problem and she wanted it solved and she believed I could do it. And so that client that's sitting in your chair, they're sitting in your chair because they have a problem that they want you to solve. So throughout that consultation, we figured out what we were going to do. I gave her a plan on where we were going to head with her haircut. And I shared with her that I was going to share with her how to, style it and all that stuff. So throughout her service, guys, I was talking to her at the shampoo bowl about the shampoo I was using and why I was using it, how it would benefit her. When I get back to the chair, I didn't sit and just chat about me and what was going on with me in my life. I focused it on her. I let her talk. She'd ask me a question about myself, but I always focused it back to her hair. And I would always say to her, I'm applying this leave-in conditioner. This is the reason I'm choosing it. And this is how you use it. And then I would set it in front of her, then go through and style her hair. And I would educate her and show her. And when we were finished, she paid for her service and she rebooked her appointment. She wanted to make sure she could get in with me. So she booked her next 2 appointments with me. And as she was walking out, at first I had said to her, which of those products would you like to bring home today? And she said, oh, I don't know. She says, she was hem-hawing. I said, you know what? I'm going to write these products down for you. And when if you're right down the street, if you really love it, then it'll be here for you. And she paused for a minute. She goes, Sherry, just how much is the product? And I told her, and she says, here, and she had cash. And she paid me cash, and she left with the product. And the reason, guys, I share that with you is because she really, yes, didn't have the income, but I solved a problem for her. And so selling that retail, all I did was educate her. I didn't sell her anything. I just simply educated her. So that's the first thing I'm going to challenge you to do is be the expert. Okay? Guys, remember, your client that's sitting in your chair, they're coming to you for a problem and you need to solve it. And you're going to do it by, giving them the haircut and style to make them feel good about themselves. But guys, if you're not sharing with them about the product that you're using on their hair and letting them feel it and letting them experience it and sharing it with them and showing them it, you're missing the boat. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it ebbs and flows. Some days you may not sell a lot of product, but guys, I can't tell you how many times a client did leave and then they ended up calling me and saying, hey, I'm having a hard time with my hair. I'd like to get that product. And they come in another day and they purchase it. This is just another way, guys, for you to make more money behind the chair. And I can honestly tell you that if you can start being more of the professional, and I say that because you are the professional, and sometimes that line gets blurred and we get so caught up in the conversation that we forget that client's paying us and they're wanting to learn and they want you to solve their problem. And I'll tell you, by me solving my clients' problems, that retail, guys, it's paid for my rent. I can't tell you how many times. So it's the easiest way to make income behind the chair, guys, without doing more clients. So that's my first challenge to you is to, if you don't do retail, do retail. I'm just going to do a little plug here for a company. I am not, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. But when I came to Phoenix and I ended up having to, become a salon suite owner and a chair renter, because before that, guys, I had been a big salon owner. So it was a different world for me to just be thinking about myself. I found a company called Jacqueline Pro, and I ended up going with it because, first of all, the color line, I liked it because I have clients that are like in their 50s and up. That's the majority. That's not all of them, but they were having allergies to color, and I needed to add a color line for those clients, and Jacqueline really fit the deal for that. But the other thing is I really liked their retail products and I liked their philosophy behind it. A lot of people think that it's tiered marketing, but it's really not. It's when I spend a certain amount every month and purchase my retail and color, I get money back in an account that I use towards my back bar. So the more product that I purchase, of course, the more money I'm going to get back. But they like to give back to the stylists. And also, I have a link on my website that clients can go to. And if they don't purchase it right there, and they think about doing it later, they can go to my website and they can order it under my name and have it delivered to their home. Or if they don't want to pay shipping, Jack Wynn just lets me know and it's in my order, and I just call them and let them know when to pick it up. And it's made my life as an independent hairstylist so much easier. And it's also saved me a lot of money because, guys, product is just going up. And so knowing that I have that little extra money that comes in every month that helps with purchasing my back bar has been a lifesaver for me. And some hairstylists I know that have really gotten into it and promoted it. It's paid for all of their back bar. So anyway, I'll link it in the show notes in case you're interested, but just wanted to share that with you. The next one is the number 2 one is to upsell. And this is where you're not really selling more, but you're serving in a deeper way. And I say it like that. I'm going to say it again, a little slower. You want to learn to upsell your client. This is just a way to serve them deeper. It's not selling more, guys. It's all in your mindset on the way you're thinking about it. Your clients want to feel beautiful when they're getting ready behind the chair. They want to feel handsome. They want their hair to style easy. They want to feel good every day. And guys, if we're not sharing with our clients ways to help them, we're giving them a disservice. So instead of thinking like, I'm going to sell them another service, think about ways of how you can help them better, like you're helping them. So one of the things that I started doing, and it was really inspired by a couple of hairstylists that I watched that were successful, that I started noticing was they would look at their week ahead before they even started and see who was coming in and if they had spaces. And when they had spaces, they started looking at those clients that were coming in on those days and going back and looking at their notes and thinking about how can I, if I have time here, Marianne has been wanting a little bit more texture in her hair. I'm going to have time. So I'll make sure when I'm talking to her about our consultation tomorrow, I'm going to let her know, hey, I had a cancellation. You don't need to say my books are slow. You don't want to say that, but you want to say, hey, I had an opening come available right after you. And you've talked about this and I have time to do this today. So this is what I'm talking about, upselling. Some examples of this are that can raise your income on a daily basis is chelating treatment. A lot of clients, of course, they know about clarifying shampoos and stuff, but if you have a product, that actually removes hard water deposits or chlorine or medication from the hair, it's an easy add-on to say, hey, when you're talking in that consultation, for instance, I had a client one time, her hair was she was highly blonded. Her hair she loved it platinum, and she had lived in an area where they had well water. So it was building up on her hair. And then when she was using the heating elements, it was starting to make it yellow and she hated it, So on this particular day, I really didn't have extra time. All it really took me was about an extra 15 minutes. But I told her about a product. It's actually called Pre-Treat. It's from the line I just shared with you. But I sprayed it on and I literally put a bag on her head and let her sit under the dryer for 5 or 10 minutes and, washed it out. And she, it removed the yellow and she was so happy because it made it shinier. So on top of that, she ended up buying the product and taking it home because she wanted her hair to look shiny. She didn't like the yellow. I solved her problem. And I created more income for myself behind the chair. Other easy ones is a glossing treatment. Those are easy. If you've got an extra half hour on your schedule that you can do, talk to them about that. The clients are all the time wanting more shine. And that's an easy one. And another one is, adding some highlights. Gosh, if you got a little bit of extra time, there have been some clients I said, we've been talking about this. I have a little extra time. Let's throw a few foils in. The extra cost, it may be just, if you put in 4 foils, you charge $25 extra. I mean, it's not like charging the full partial highlight, but you're giving them a taste of it. And guys, once they see it, then what's going to happen is they're going to rebook for it. This happened to me just yesterday. She was the end of my day. She was having a hard day. After consulting with her, honestly, she wanted to grow her hair out, and we talked about highlights, and I said, I have the time. Would you like to do it? She was like, all for it. Did a partial highlight, got her in and out in the same amount of time that haircut would have been, made a little extra money on it. And on top of that, guys, she loved it so much. She not only booked her future haircuts, she wanted to go through the year and make sure that every third haircut, I added a highlight. So that was another way that you can raise your income. And then the other one is, guys, this is a huge one. We are people pleasers. We are such people pleasers. And we tend to discount our services. Like when I'm talking about that client that came in just yesterday, that I knew it was a big deal for her to come to me and pay my prices. The old me, I would have probably given her a discount. So I'm losing money. Here I am trying to make ends meet with my kids, and I'm feeling sorry for somebody. During that time, I was working at a hair salon. This just came to my mind. And I'll never forget it. This was so many years ago. I was working in the salon and this lady walked in, and guys, she looked like a bag lady, like off the street. And I was getting ready to leave work, and she walked in, and everybody was like, oh, I don't want to do her, whatever, because of how she looked. Well, I stayed and I said, I'll take her. And when I was talking to her in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can't charge her, full price or whatever. But I did, after talking to her and consulting with her. And guys, I gave her a great haircut. At that time, and of course, I was educating them on the products. Guys, she not only bought every product I used on her, paid the haircut, she gave me $100 tip. $100 tip. If I would have judged her on her appearance, if I would have discounted her because, I felt sorry for her because I had prejudged her, I would have lost income. I not only, did her hair and made a new client, but guys, she gave me a beautiful tip. And she thanked me. And it made me feel so good. And that was a turning point for me. That person made me like realize that you can't judge a book by the cover. And the other people that we tend to discount when you are thinking about doing a price increase, if you haven't done a price increase in a couple of years, you need to do that. And when you do it, you have regulars that you really like. I get it. And you don't want to lose them. But I'm going to tell you, like, if you want to continue to grow behind the chair and you don't want to continue on this hamster wheel of always trying to get more clients in so you can make more money, if you discount people because they've been with you for a long time, when you do a price increase, you're losing money. Guys, I know firsthand, I get it. You get clients in your chair and you build this relationship. But the bottom line is they're paying you for a service, and you can't blur that line. And I've done it. I have done it. So I'm not sharing anything with you that I haven't done. But guys, you cannot discount somebody just because they've been loyal to you. That is important to you. But when you grow, some of those people they're not going to be able to grow with you. But what happens is you're going to meet new clients that can grow with you, that can afford you. And I can honestly tell you, like, I had to do a price increase last year, and I lost some of my clients because they just financially could not do it. But my income has increased, and I'm working less days behind the chair, less hours behind the chair, because I have a good reputation, because I have really good reviews. I've attracted the clients that are seeking me out and don't think twice and don't question me for the pricing. So I'm going to encourage you there. And just a side note, I'm not going to go into it on this episode, and I will do a future episode, but If you haven't looked at your numbers, go back and look. See if, what you're paying out and what you're charging, if you're making enough. Guys, if you're just barely making it and you haven't done a price increase, you got to get the courage and you got to do it. Don't be scared. So just to back up and review, first one is you got to start talking about retail. And, I've had somebody, in the salon say the other day, like, she's so frustrated because a client will say, hey, you know what? Thanks for sharing with me about the product. I'm going to get it on Amazon. Well, she was very frustrated, rightly so, because we're a small business. But I encouraged her. A lot of clients don't know. They don't think about it. They don't do it because they're being rude. They just don't know. And so you need to share with them. We're like, well, I've got the product here and I really love it. If you could purchase it from me, it's not going to cost you anything extra, but you were supporting my business. And this retail, it helps me be able to stand here behind this chair and continue to service you as a hairstylist. You just got to own your chair. I say it over and over again. You are the CEO of your chair. And guys, you got to step out of your comfort zone and do these things. And just a little tidbit, I always recommend like at least 3 products for them and set them in front of them or in their view so they can see it. And at the end, asking them which one they'd like to have. They can say no, it's not going to hurt, but you're asking them and it's not pressure. And if you've educated them and they see the benefits of it, they're going to purchase, and they may not that day, but eventually they will. But we've got to communicate with them. Our clients don't know. And the second one is know what's on your books. Be proactive. Go into work a little early. Look for a week ahead and start thinking about how you can upsell your client. And I want to rephrase that to upserve. How can you upserve them? It's going to benefit both you and them. And the last one is stop discounting. If you continue to discount, you're not going to grow and you're never going to get to that place of just a piece of knowing you've got enough money in the bank that your bills are paid for months on end. You can get there, but so many times we stand in our own way because we're people pleasers and it's so much easier just to stay in our comfort zone. But when we stay in our comfort zone, because we're afraid of offending somebody, afraid of losing that client, afraid of saying the wrong thing, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to attain your desires. So guys, I challenge you. What can you do this coming week to create more income for yourself behind the chair? And every time, guys, you force yourself to get a bit uncomfortable, just your confidence grows. It really does. You learn from it. So I'm going to challenge you. This week. I want you to implement. I just want you to pick one. So when you look through your week, I want you to really think about what can I do this coming week to create more income for myself behind the chair. And I'm just going to say it again. Remember the 3 R's. That's on a few episodes back. I should have looked that up before I recorded this, but I talk about the 3 R's, always ask for a referral, always ask for a review, and always, always, always ask for them to rebook. So guys, more money isn't about more hours behind the chair. It's in how you show up behind the chair. So start owning that chair, guys. And I hope this helps. If it does, let me know. Hit the subscribe button, write a review. You can also find in the show notes a way to email me or join my Facebook group, Client Support for Hairstylists, and let me know. Let me know what you did for this week. As always, happy haircutting, and remember that your clients always remember more about how you made them feel than anything else at all. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week, guys.
Hey friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If it helped you, I'd love for you to hit subscribe and leave a quick review and share what stood out most for you today. When you leave a review, it helps other stylists find this show. And hey, if you want to hang out with me more and learn alongside other like-minded stylists who are working on building their clientele as well, I have a free Facebook group I just started. You'll find the link in the show notes below. I'd love to have you there and hang out with you. I'll be back next week. Until then, Happy haircutting, and remember, your chair is your business, so own it like a pro.